Barrow Borough Council has realised a long-held ambition to create a flagship attraction in the town with the opening of the Dock Museum in 1994. This prestigious museum straddles a Victorian engraving dock, spanning 3 floors over the infill section of the dock. It is a spectacular steel and glass structure, creating an exciting setting for Barrow's town museum. Its exhibitions and displays follow the remarkable story of Barrow's growth from a tiny 19th century hamlet to the largest producer of iron and steel in the world, and then to a major shipbuilding force within 40 years. The Dock Museum is in the heart of Barrow's industrial past. To the north was once the iron and steel works, the largest of its kind in Europe in the 1870s. To the south is the docks complex and the Barrow Island shipyard. Opened in 1872, the shipyard was bought by the Sheffield firm of Vickers in 1896, since when liners, merchant ships, warships and submarines have carried the name of Barrow all over the world. Alongside the museum site were small shipyards owned by William Ashburner, Robert Ray, James Fisher and Joseph Rawlinson, all building wooden vessels for local and foreign trade. In June 1996, many new facilities were opened due to the allocation of a European Regional Development Fund grant, which in turn was matched by local money. As well as installing a new gallery for temporary exhibitions, a high-tech film show about Barrow's history, a newly landscaped site and themed adventure playground, the museum were able to restore Graving Dock gates, a vision held ever since the Graving Dock was selected as the site for the new museum. In 1995, Barrow Borough Council commissioned the construction of a new Graving Dock gate to enable the Dock Museum to have the additional facility of playing host to visiting vessels or to retain vessels in safe waters for repair. Funding for the £500,000 project was provided by derelict land grants and English partnerships. The new dock gate is situated on the site of the previous floating caisson dock gate, constructed in Victorian times. The original Graving Dock had been planned by the Furness Railway Company even before the main dock system was opened in 1867, but work was delayed for a few years. In August 1872, the new dock was completed. The name Graving Dock comes from the old term graving, which referred to the process of waterproofing a ship's bottom by burning off weeds and applying coats of tar. The more common term is dry dock. Once a vessel was in place, the dock would be drained and the vessel secured by means of a cradle and support side struts. All kinds of ships use the dock. Sailing ships, tugs, merchant ships, destroyers, even a captured German U-boat at the end of the Second World War. The length of the dock was 500 feet, with a maximum depth of 33 feet. The dock was 60 feet wide at its entrance. It was last used in 1959. A concrete structure for the new dock gate was built, rather like a frame for a sliding door. The thick concrete walls and sill are reinforced with high tensile bars designed to withstand the high pressures created when the dock is filled with water and there is low water in Walney Channel. The reinforcing bars were the first to be erected. These had to be wired together to hold them in place before the temporary framework was assembled. The shuttering, as it is called, forms a mould for the placing of the concrete. The concrete was mixed at a short distance from the site and delivered to the edge of the dock in ready mixed trucks. From here, it was placed into the framework by a hydraulically operated concrete pump. The vibrating pokers were dipped into the wet concrete to compact it and make it very dense. After the concrete had hardened, the shuttering was removed to leave a strong structure specially shaped to hold the steel gate firmly in place against the high tides and waves of the Walney Channel. The new gate was designed by R.T. James of Barrow and built by Scarra-Nassau of Millom. Jarl Hydraulics Limited, again a Barrow firm, designed and installed the gate's drive mechanism. Thomas Armstrong was of Flimby in Cumbria, provided the civil engineering works. The gate was constructed off-site at Scarra-Nassau's premises in Millom. It was built in separate sections, and each section had to be transported on a low loader to Barrow.
This drawing describes the construction of the gate. We built it here at Millom in 3 parts. It will be taken to Barrow then, and then assembled fully on site. This drawing describes the construction of the great gate using the typical member sizes, and plate thickness is shown.
The gate is generally known as a floating caisson, using buoyancy to open and close. It is made to float by the removal of water from its ballast tanks. A hydraulic drive motor and chain then slide the gates to either the open or closed position. The gate is then parked by adding water to the ballast tanks to make it sink. close attention needs to be made to the tide conditions when operating the gate. The gate requires a tide depth of at least 8.6 meters to float and is opened at slack water when the tide is at its highest point. Before the gate can be moved, the water levels in the graving dock and Walney Channel are equalized. On the 4th of June 1996, the dock gate was officially opened by Barrow's mayor, at a ceremony attended by councillors from the Leisure Services Committee who managed the Dock Museum, Barrow's chief executive, Tom Campbell, and other council and museum officers. To mark the occasion, some local vessels of historic interest sailed into the dock, as well as Her Majesty's Coast Guards in their rescue boat. The facility of a dock gate has enabled the Dock Museum to welcome many visiting vessels.
And from now on, it means that any craft that you would like to bring into the museum, either on a permanent or a temporary basis, can just come in here as easily as that.
Hopefully that's the case, yes. So obviously this is a relatively light vessel with no real draft, but we do anticipate that we can get 80-foot cutters and boats of that size into the dock as exhibits, and in fact the Ocean Sailing Youth Club have given through their boat.
The gate also forms a vital link for those walking the Cumbria Coastal Way, and many visitors to the site have enjoyed being able to walk across the gate and pursue their walk along the promenade. This channel-side walk was opened in 1995 and links up with the Project Furnace site, an ambitious and ongoing regeneration of the former iron and steelworks site. Since 1997, the promenade has been extended to take walkers on a circular route around and across the former steelworks slag bank. From the top there are spectacular views of the town of Barrow, Walney Island and the hills of the Lake District.
I'll do you right. Yes.
The attraction of the Dock Museum lies not only within the building, but on the site and immediate location. In 1996, a raised viewing platform was added to the northwest corner. To the south looms the Devonshire Dock Hall, the largest single industrial building in Europe.
It was quite good on that boat, actually.
Oh, did you like it?
Enjoyed it, yes.
I think I deserve a round of applause. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues from the County Council. On behalf of the Borough Council, I'd like to thank you all for coming along here today. I'd like to welcome those of you who are visitors to the town. I think the dock gate and what it symbolises for us is very important. We're here on the site of the Dock Museum, which will be opening in its second phase on the 30th of June. But I think this is very symbolic because this is about Barrow. This is about Barrow engineering. This dock gate was designed by a Barrow firm, James. It was constructed by a local company, Scarinassa. The hydraulics were done by a local company, Yarrow. It's very important symbolically for us. It was made possible by the generosity of Government Office North West, who helped us with their land grant, and it forms part of an overall scheme that is a partnership between the County Council and the Borough Council. And I think that symbolises a lot for what we're trying to do in the town. I know it'll be a wonderful facility. So I'm going to invite the Mayor to say a few words in terms of dedication of the new dock gate. Thank you. Thank you, Tom. As Tom said, he's welcomed you all to this on this great occasion, and it is a great occasion for Barrow and everything else. As you can see, the whole area is being regenerated, and this is the step forward that we are making in this field. So once again, it's only left to be said that this is the start and it won't be the finish.
The northern reaches of Walney Channel were at one time the main entrance to Barrow's dock system. 100 years ago it would have been busy with commercial shipping. Now it is home to yachts, rowing boats and a few working trawlers. Opposite the museum, on the eastern banks of Walney, is the model estate of Vicarstown, built for vicars at the turn of the century. There were several kinds of houses for different grades of workers and staff, shops, a nursery and farm, church sites and public houses. For a few years the only way across from the Vicar's shipyard to Vicarstown was by ferry. Then a bridge was built and opened in 1908. It was a toll bridge until freed in 1935. Its middle section can still be raised to allow tall ships through. The museum have requested the bridge to be raised on numerous occasions to allow vessels access to the museum dock. The restoration of a gate to the graving dock has been a huge undertaking for Barrow Borough Council. This new facility now forms an integral part in the operation of the museum, enhancing visitor services considerably, and is a great credit to all involved.